Hannah.
And I'm Shay, and we're Dinner National.
Today we're cooking food from the Philippines.
Filipino food does not get as much recognition as their neighbors like Vietnam or Thailand, but that is not because Filipino food is not tasty. It's delicious. But we've definitely not cooked a lot of Filipino food before, so we decided to keep it real simple today. What we're cooking today is a easy weekday evening meal, chicken adobo.
I'm going to be making a pork lumpia. So this lumpia is kind of similar to the spring rolls we made for the Vietnam episode. Lumpia originated in China, but it's become a mainstream part of Filipino culture.
Let's get started. So the adobo is a real simple dish, right? So what we have over here is boneless, skinless chicken thighs, 6 of them. Traditionally, bone and skin on chicken thighs would be used, but this is what we had, so that's what we're using. And you'll see how simple this recipe is. What I have here is like 1/3 cup of soy sauce. And then we have the equal amount, 1/3 cup of white vinegar. And we also have 3 to 4 cloves of garlic. This is 4. If you like a little bit less, use less. And we have bay leaves. So I'm just using 4 bay leaves. Believe it or not, that's our marinade. So I'm just gonna give this all a real nice mix, make sure that the chicken is coated, and put this in the fridge for like about 20 minutes. This is an optional step, but it's nice to get the chicken nice and tasty. See you in 20 minutes.
All right, let's get started with our lumpia, the food of my people. That's not funny. I can cut that. I have half of a medium yellow onion that I'm going to put into 2 teaspoons of vegetable oil. Pretty hot pan, so be careful of splatter. I'm going to immediately add 2 cloves of minced garlic. This is about 1 inch of ginger minced. And 1 medium carrot that's been minced as well. So the point here is to soften the onions a little bit so they're not so raw. This is kind of similar to our spring roll recipe, and not all lumpia recipes require you to cook the filling. They don't call for that, but the one we're using did, and I think it's just a little bit more safe. You can't go wrong with a little extra cook time. Once these get translucent, I'll add the pork. It's been about 2 minutes. Our onions are looking translucent now. So we're gonna add our pork. This is about 1 pound of ground pork. Gonna chop this up and mix it with the onions and the carrot. And this will take about 6 minutes to be ready to add the next ingredient. Smells really good. It's been about 5 minutes. I'm gonna add our water chestnuts in. If you don't have water chestnuts, you can use something neutral, like cauliflower, that would work great, or even cabbage, but you can skip it all together if you feel like you don't need it. So good. I think I can add in my soy sauce. This is 2 teaspoons of soy sauce. This is 1 teaspoon of black pepper and 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. I'm gonna stir this around, let it cook for maybe 1 minute, and then I'll add cilantro and green onion. This would be delicious just on top of rice. You don't even need to wrap it up, just eat it. I think that's probably good. This is a 1/4 cup of green onion, the white parts and the green. This is 2 tablespoons of chopped cilantro. Gonna add nice fresh herby flavor. I'm gonna keep stirring this until it's well mixed, and then take it off the heat and let it cool completely before we put it into our wrappers so we don't burn our little fingers off.
Okay, so our chicken has been marinating for about an hour. Like I said, 20 minutes is adequate, but more is good. What I'm gonna do is, I've got this skillet non-stick, got about 3 tablespoons of oil heating in it. Feel free to use a little bit less. I just wanna make sure that this does not stick. I'm gonna fry up the chicken thighs. So our chicken has been searing for like about 2 minutes. I'm just gonna flip these. As you can notice, I have still reserved the marinade because the marinade turns into our sauce. Whenever your marinade has touched any kind of raw meat, it's really important to cook it thoroughly before you serve it. So I'm gonna flip these. I will sear these for 2 more minutes. The idea is not to completely cook the chicken, but just to give it a little head start. The rest of the chicken will continue cooking in the sauce. I have pulled these chicken thighs off and now I'm gonna add the onion. So this is half of a yellow onion. This is about 4 cloves of garlic. So if you remember, we had added 4 cloves of garlic in the marinade as well. So this is going to be kind of garlicky. But that's not a bad thing. We like it over here. I will give this a quick saute and I will add the rest of this marinade right in this pan. Alright, garlic and everything. Give this a little mix. Add about 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. And I have about 1 tablespoon of whole black peppercorns. If you don't have these, you can just use like a little bit of black pepper powder. But whole is what the recipe called for and we had it. So what I'm going to do is dissolve all of this sugar and the soy sauce into the mixture. Let it reduce a little bit. And once it reduces, I will put the chicken in there and have it cooked. Damn, this smells so good. I cannot wait to eat this. So as you can see, I've nestled the chicken thighs back into the marinade, which is now turning into our sauce. I will pour all of the liquids because these liquids are super tasty. Do not throw them out. I'm gonna turn this down to a simmer and wait for about 15 minutes. And after 15 minutes, we'll flip this and give it another 15 to 20 minutes. See you in a bit.
All right, so our chicken adobo is cooking. Our mixture has cooled and we're gonna get started wrapping the lumpia. So as you can see, I've placed the wrapper in front of me. I'm using a spring roll wrapper. We don't have lumpia wrappers, but it's basically the same. We have an egg wash here that we're gonna use as glue and our cooled off mixture. Put your filling here, kind of near the bottom. It's so hard, it's kind of sticky, so it wants to travel elsewhere. All right. Okay, so roll the bottom up, tuck it, do a little roll. Try to be as controlled as possible, but you know, no one's perfect. Tuck in the sides. And we're gonna use some of the egg mixture as glue. All right.
So our chicken has been simmering in this sauce for about 15 minutes. So I'm just gonna give it a quick flip and we'll let it cook for another 15 to 20 minutes. And we'll keep checking around like 10 because we don't want the chicken to get overcooked. But you know, chicken thighs are pretty forgiving, unlike chicken breasts, which get like really dry. So I'm not super worried about these, but you know, 10 to 15 minutes should be an adequate amount of time. See you in about 15. Okay, so I'm checking the temperature of the thighs. It's above 165. That means it's nice and cooked. And as you can see, this water has mostly evaporated from the sauce and it's just become like this jammy, oniony mixture. Our adobo is ready, guys. I'm just gonna put this aside and have Hannah fry the lumpia.
All right, I have my tools. So we're gonna fry the lumpia and try not to burn ourselves. It's gonna be real sizzly. Oh, not too bad, not too bad. So you could do a deep fry, but we like to save oil and these cook pretty quickly. Just kind of flip them once they get brown on the bottom. And remember that the filling's already cooked, so there's no risk of contamination or getting sick. I guess this is enough for one pan right now. It's a kind of tiny pan. So it's been a minute or so. I'm going to flip these over. Look at that nice golden brown color. This is such a satisfying food to make because it turns out so well every time. These are a little more brown, but that's fine. So this shouldn't take too long to get brown on the other side. We'll pull them out and do our second batch. Second batch going in. My husband is an architect.
So these crispy spring rolls are fast turning into one of my favorite appetizers. And I never really made them before the Vietnam episode. But honestly, yeah, now my freezer always has some of these. It's super easy, like on a Tuesday night, if you just want to fry a couple up, it takes like 5 minutes flat.
Yeah, you can cook them from frozen, so it's really handy.
So crispy.
Ginger, garlic, pork. You can make these vegetarian, by the way. Just use cabbage, carrot, things like that. Anything you want, really. So good. Let's try the chicken.
I'm just absorbed in my appetizer. Let me try some of this sauce.
Wow.
Yeah, the soy sauce, the sugar, the black peppers. It's spicy yet not spicy. It's really good.
Very nice.
I'm starting to really like Filipino food. So I hope you give this a try. See you next week.